Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all well. I'm delighted to be with you this morning. I'm losing track of the time, it's jet lag. Delighted to be with you this morning at the Veris Conference, which is also a World Congress of Families regional conference. This is my third time in Belgrade. I was here first in the year 2000. The Serbs are a great people. We need more of them. And that's one reason I'm here to address you today. Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest threat that humanity will confront in the 21st century isn't global warming or scarce resources or nuclear proliferation or a super virus which will ravage the planet or any of the other disasters, real or imaginary, that national governments and international bodies agonize over. If current trends continue, we won't run out of energy or other resources in the foreseeable future. However, we will run out of people. This catastrophe in the making will be the result of rapidly declining fertility, known as demographic winter. The fertility rate refers to the number of children the average woman will have in her lifetime. In developed countries, a rate of 2.1 is needed just to replace current population. More, and you have population growth. Less, and you have population decline. Worldwide, in 1960, the average woman had 5 children. Today that number is 2.6 and falling. Every industrialized nation has below replacement fertility. In Western Europe, in the European Union, the fertility rate is only 1.5. In Serbia, it's 1.4. Between 2002 and 2011, Serbia's population declined by 4.2%. It's often said that every year you lose an entire town, meaning that Serbia loses 30 to 40,000 people annually. All other things being equal, demographers tell us that with a fertility rate below 1.3, a nation will lose half of its population every 45 years. Demographic winter did not happen in a vacuum. It is a direct result of the sexual revolution, a phenomenon first manifested in the late 1960s, not coincidentally when fertility rates began to fall. The dogma of the sexual revolution, which has become ingrained social wisdom in the West, might be summarized as follows. 1. Sex is the most important part of existence. 2. When sex is consensual, it's always good. 3. The primary purpose of sex is pleasure, not procreation or spiritual connection. 4. The primary purpose of life is pleasure. 5. Inhibitions lead to neuroses or mental illness and must be overcome. 6. Sex has nothing to do with morality or values. And 7, sex should not only be guilt-free, but free of consequences. Hence contraception, hence abortion. My wife and I were in Montreal a few years ago, and we saw in a store window a t-shirt with the slogan, "Make love, not babies." Ladies and gentlemen, that could be the slogan of a sexual revolution. Except increasingly it's not even make love, it's have sex. The prophets of the sexual revolution include researchers who are really more like missionaries, such as Alfred Kinsey and Masters and Johnson, pornographers like Hugh Hefner, the founder of Playboy magazine, and feminists like Margaret Sanger. The effects of a sexual revolution on fertility have been far-reaching and possibly irreversible. For the first time in human history, just under half of the world's population uses some form of contraception. This year, the global contraceptives market will generate an estimated $17.2 billion. Generally, this is financed by governments, corporations, or international agencies. Many species have become extinct. Our species may be the first to finance its own extinction. Worldwide, there are roughly 42 million abortions a year. That's twice the number of military deaths in World War II, the bloodiest conflict in human history, except instead of a country's soldiers dying on the battlefield, these are casualties a nation inflicts on itself. Now, we're not just losing 42 million people annually, which would be bad enough in itself. But we're also losing their children, their grandchildren, their great-grandchildren, all of the descendants they would have had if they'd been born. We are, ladies and gentlemen, we are quite literally aborting our future. The decline of marriage has affected fertility even more profoundly than contraception and abortion. In the United States, in the year 2009, 41% of all births were out of wedlock. As these children grow up, most in single-parent homes, they'll, in all likelihood, follow the family tradition of not forming families. Childbearing does not thrive in a climate of uncertainty. In 2008, again in the United States, 40% of all marriages ended in divorce. And fewer are marrying in the first place. In 2010, we're told that in France, more people began living together than married. I'm sorry. In 1960, 72% of all adults in the United States were married. By 2008, that figure had fallen to 51%. Among 18 to 29-year-olds, those in their prime childbearing years, 59% were married in 1960, compared to only 20%. Once a central reality of existence, Today, marriage is considered optional. We marry because we feel like it, not because we should. Fewer and fewer marriages result in fewer and fewer children. Just as declining birth rates are the result of the sexual revolution, the latter is the product of something called cultural Marxism, a movement associated with Antonio Gramsci, who coined the term "the long march through the culture," Georg Lukács and the Frankfurt School, especially Herbert Marcuse. Cultural Marxism was their answer to the failure of revolution following the First World War. According to standard Marxist doctrine, when one country becomes communist, every other country will become communist, like dominoes falling. But that didn't happen after the Russian Revolution. There was a short-lived Soviet republic in Hungary and in Bavaria. They were overthrown, so communism stopped at the borders of Russia. Why? Well, according to Gramsci, it's because the church and the family gave workers a false class consciousness, to use Marxist terminology. In other words, because of religion and the family, workers who were proletarians were behaving like bourgeois. So, cultural Marxists set out to destroy the family and religion. And what better way to do that than to foster promiscuity and a society oriented toward mindless pleasure, movies, sports, food, fashion, other forms of recreation, rather than childbearing, family formation, and the search for higher meaning. While there is no proof that dramatically declining fertility is what cultural Marxists had in mind, if you think about it logically, that's the natural consequence of undermining faith and family and fostering a highly eroticized society where family is viewed as an obstacle to self-fulfillment and children as a burden. We won't find our way out of the forest of demographic winter until the sexual revolution is overthrown, its premises rejected, its prophets exposed, its dogma debunked. Ladies and gentlemen, ultimately, the sexual revolution is about death. Death through abortion, death through contraception, preventing life from happening, death through sexually transmitted diseases, death through pornography, death through promiscuity, all of this in place of monogamous marriage and childbearing. Therefore, to combat demographic winter, we must embrace a philosophy of life. For does not the Bible say, "I have set before you this day life and death, blessing and curses. Therefore, choose life, so that you may live, you and your children." Thank you.